There is hope and light and better days ahead. If we all do our part, this country will be vaccinated soon.
Big promises from President Biden. Just ahead, the key takeaways that'll affect you as he marks 1 year of the coronavirus pandemic with a primetime address. Plus, one country opens up another 1,000 vaccination appointments in just a few hours. How you can grab one.
Keeping you safe, informed, connected. This is News Channel 5 This Morning.
And thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Mo Hyder. A year after the coronavirus pandemic, President Joe Biden used a primetime address to lay out a new timeline for vaccinations. Here are the key takeaways. He talked about signing the nearly $2 trillion COVID relief package into law. People can start seeing stimulus payments in their bank accounts as early as this weekend. The president directed states to make all adult Americans eligible for the vaccine by May 1st. He hopes that means people will be able to have small get-togethers by the 4th of July.
That doesn't mean large events with lots of people together, but it does mean small groups will be able to get together after this long, hard year.
And Mr. Biden also noted that the U.S. is surpassing his goal of having 100 million vaccinations by its 100th day in office. He expects that to happen by his 60th day instead. And also in just a few hours, Metro will open up 100,000 new vaccination appointments. Staff will administer the Pfizer vaccine at the Music City Center. Sign-up starts online at 10 o'clock this morning. These appointments are for anyone in Phase 1C or 65 years and older. And half of Nashville is in that phase as well, but there are concerns people are skipping the line. Tennessee has an honor system when it comes to the vaccine. That means that no documentation of medical condition is necessary when you get the vaccine. Health officials say that's simply because it's too time-consuming to check everyone.
To require medical records requires the individual to potentially take time off, to potentially spend their own dollars, and it would take us a long time potentially to look through those records.
And the city says every week is receiving hundreds of more vaccine than the week before. A good sign that soon there will be plenty to go around. And like so many other places, the Nashville Zoo has really struggled to stay afloat this past year. Today, they'll lift some big restrictions, reopening its indoor exhibits for the first time in a year. The reopening of the Unseen New World exhibit is a sign things are getting closer to normal here after a tough year. The zoo did have to close for a few months last year when the pandemic began. That was hard because managers say they typically get a lot of business around springtime specifically. In June, they did reopen with limited capacity, but things were still very difficult, and that led to financial hardships. To add to the struggle, the bills didn't stop either. The zoo still had to take care of the animals, which is costly. Now with this indoor exhibit back open a year later, the zoo is getting back on track.
Anybody in the entertainment industry took a major hit, right? And that includes the zoos. Yeah. So we are very happy to be open. We've been fortunate to be open since June. And now we're even happier that we're able to open up more areas of the park for people to experience.
And today the zoo is also expanding its hours, staying open later until 6 o'clock in the evening. And despite the ongoing pandemic and restrictions, fans are at Bridgestone Arena for the SEC conference. Many of them are staying at hotels, something people in the hospitality industry are just thankful for. It's also an industry that comes in second for Tennessee's tax revenue and employs the state's largest workforce, making the success of the hotel so crucial to Tennessee's rebound.
That then drives more revenue, not only for our restaurants and our hotels, but once again, it brings in those taxes that feed everybody across this city.
And also at the Omni Hotel alone, for example, occupancy nearly tripled this week thanks to the conference. It's been a tough year for the music industry, and this weekend artists are going to be celebrated here on News Channel 5 during music's biggest night, the Grammys, and you might see a familiar place as well. The Station Inn is going to be part of the show Sunday as the Grammys pay tribute to independent venues. Its owners says there are a representation of hundreds of different venues, theaters, and other live music spots. He says at the beginning of all this, they felt pretty alone, and it was a difficult struggle. The Grammys plan is to give these owners a voice for the night.
We really feel like we're doing something to help. You know, there have been a couple of venues that didn't make it through. Even some of our neighbors didn't make it through. And we can finally do something about it. We can finally help do that final push as we really hopefully get toward the end of this thing. We can do something to make a difference.
And also the Grammys get underway Sunday at 7 Central here on News Channel 5. And it doesn't stop there. CBS and the Recording Academy are teaming up for another special on March 17th. The Grammy Salute to the Sounds of Change will highlight music that inspired social justice, equality. It's also going to feature performances from Yolanda Adams, Chris Stapleton, Patti LaBelle, and much more. That's Wednesday night right here on News Channel 5. So much to look forward to. And say it ain't so. Anyone who shares their Netflix password with a family member might want to stick around for a new warning from the streaming service when we come back.